Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Dane Clark stars in an episode of Crime in Peter Chambers. This episode was originally broadcast July 27th, 1954, as Chambers gets to play nursemaid to three beautiful women.
Crime and Peter Chambers. Created by Henry Kane, transcribed and starring Dane Clark. Private investigator, duly licensed and duly sworn, Peter Chambers.
You're a private eye. That's your business. Anything else? That's for laughs. Laughs? This one figures for more laughs than a bull session at a bachelor dinner. You're being retained to play nursemaid to three of the most beautiful girls in the world. And for that, you're being paid. The lady at your office is Miss Matilda Cragg, battle axe type, and built like a fire hydrant.
Your fee, then, is $500.
Yes, Miss Cragg.
And you understand that I represent Mr. Byron Thorndike?
Yes, Miss Cragg.
And you understand that Mr. Thorndike is the Mr. Thorndike, Byron Thorndike Model Agency?
Yes, Miss Cragg.
And you know why you're being retained?
But of course, Miss Cragg.
Then let's go over it again.
Again, Miss Cragg?
Young man. My dear young man.
Yes, Miss Cragg.
Can't you... Isn't it possible... Won't you please call me Matilda?
With all my heart, Matilda.
There now, that's much better. So much less businesslike, less formal. Well then, let's get on.
All right, here goes. Every big city and most every big country has been running a beauty contest. Then all of them competed in an elimination contest in Los Angeles, and three were chosen.
Correct. Miss Madrid, Miss Paris, and Miss Brooklyn.
And these three are now here in New York for the finals tomorrow.
And one of the three is to be crowned Miss Universe. Prize, $50,000 in cash and a Hollywood contract.
And Byron Thorndike is to be sole judge.
And I am here as chaperone for the young ladies. Mr. Thorndike has taken a lovely house on Sutton Place with a lovely garden and a lovely view. Oh, the East River in the summertime.
Yeah,
The vast bridges.
Yes, Miss Cragg.
Their lights strung across the water
Yeah,
like...
all right.
Something, Mr. Chambers?
Matilda, let's get back to cases.
Yes, of course. Now, you're to be there tonight at midnight.
Because the Money Transport Company is going to deliver 50,000 cash bucks to Thorndike at 11:45.
And you're to serve as bodyguard. You will come armed, of course.
Oh, of course, Miss Matilda.
And you will stay with Mr. Thorndike until tomorrow afternoon. And then you will remain with whatever young lady wins the prize until the money is safely deposited in a bank. Miss Madrid, a brunette, is Lola Granada.
Uh-huh.
Miss Paris, a redhead, is Louise Dupre.
Uh-huh.
And Miss Brooklyn, a blonde, is Joan Hallam.
Yikes.
Now, Mr. Chambers, I want you to remember.
It's the longest day of your life, as what day wouldn't be when at the end of the rainbow you're scheduled to meet, you hope, Miss Madrid, Miss Paris, and Miss Brooklyn. Anyway, comes midnight and you're all dolled up in your summer finery, if one will forgive the slight bulge for gun and holster. And you're at the house on Sutton Place, and you've got your finger on the buzzer.
Well, Peter Chambers, boy detective. I was told you'd be due here, so I opened the door for you myself.
Say, what are you staked out here for, Louie? Assistant judge in a beauty contest?
I don't think that contest's coming off, Pete. It's been canceled on account of the unexpected advent of a corpse.
Detective Lieutenant Louis Parker. Homicide, New York City Police. Straight cop and good friend. He leads you through a corridor that opens upon a massive living room, and there, in a chair with his back to the entrance, Byron Thorndike, very dead. A knife crammed between his shoulder blades. Parker's men are doing their jobs. Photo guys, fingerprint guys, the works.
Real nice, huh?
Byron Thorndike with a knife in his back. When'd you get the call, Louis?
About 10 minutes ago.
Who found him?
The chaperone, that Matilda Craig.
Where's she?
Right now in a hospital.
Hospital?
Oh, wait a minute, Pete. My boys are finished here.
Yeah.
Yes, you might as well get the potty out, too.
All right.
Okay, and I'll be downtown shortly. All right, Petey. Where were we?
Matilda Craig.
Yeah. Well, let me set you up on the details first. The money arrived a little early, about 25 to 12.
And that's the motive for the murder, huh?
No, sir, it ain't. That dough was piled up on the table here when we found him. Nice as you please.
Well, if not money, then why do you think...
Search me. Anyway, about, quarter to 12, we get the call downtown reporting this thing.
Call from whom?
Matilda Craig. We do it with the siren blasting all the way, and we're here in 5 minutes. We find the door locked, so we jimmy our way in, and there he is, just like you saw him. Dead. His back to the entranceway, and Matilda keeled over by the phone.
Slugged?
No, fainted. Turned out to be a heart attack, as a matter of fact.
Oh?
Anyway, we bring her to, and she straightens us out on some of the facts, and then we pile her off to the hospital where she is now, incommunicado.
And what were these facts?
Very meager. Miss Craig decides to come down to see if Thorndike needs anything before she retires for the night, you see. She comes in here, and she finds him, just like you saw him. She phones into the cops, she keels over, and that's the deal, period.
The dough was delivered at 25 to 12. By the way, where is the dough?
I sent it downtown to our property clerk, safekeeping.
Okay, dough delivered 25-2. She finds him at 1:45, which means he was killed within that 10-minute period, right?
Right.
Those girls been in the house all that time?
Yeah, each in her respective room.
So one of them's your murderer.
Or Matilda Craig.
Well, one of the four of them. You, talk to the dames upstairs?
Yes, nothing. Each one clams, each one denies, each one professes no motive.
Where do they live? Addresses and stuff?
That's a thing. One lives in Madrid, one in Paris, and the one from Brooklyn was living in Hollywood when Thorndike discovered her.
What have you told them? How much do they know?
Well, they don't know nothing except that the guy was stabbed to death. And that's all the information they're going to get until I'm ready to question. Meantime, they all stay put like they are and keep denying like they're doing.
Think I can see him?
Think I can stop you?
Upstairs, Parker introduces you to the cast of suspects. And a beautiful cast it is. First is Miss Brooklyn. Blonde as a Viking, blue-eyed and ruby-lipped.
My name is Joan Hallam, and I don't know nothing from nothing. I don't know who killed him or why he was killed. And I would consider it a special favor if you two baboons got out of here and left me alone.
Charming. Next you go a-calling on Miss Madrid. Raven hair pulled to a bun in the back and black eyes with more flash than a swindler on the make in Monte Carlo.
I am Lola Granada. I am shocked and all broken inside. I have nothing to say. I wish to be alone. Please.
Charming. And then Miss Paris. Red hair, green eyes, and a figure like the figure 8, but, oh, so much more attractive.
I am Louise Dupré. Oh, it is Peter Chambre, n'est-ce pas? Oh, this is so great a surprise. I am charmed. It is my delight.
Double charming. You met her last year in Paris when she was dancing in the Folies Bergère. You just didn't connect the name. You were there on a case, and this had all the makings of a great romance when, as luck would have it, the case was over and you were yanked back to the States.
Oh, tiens, my handsome Peter.
Oh.
Mon cher, this is so true a delight, so unexpected.
Hey, what the devil is going on here?
We are old friends, my dear.
Lieutenant.
Oui, Commissioner. Yes, you know who this is? This is Peter Chambre, the one true great detective of all the United States.
Louise.
He must have told you that himself.
Oh,
huh?
yes, he did. The
quiet.
one Peter Chambre, the great detective.
All right. Yeah.
Oh, now look, my one true great detective of all the United States.
Oh, look, Louis, you don't understand. You see, I was in Paris last year.
The one great detective.
Louis, I'm trying to explain to you.
I will talk to him. I will talk to him alone. I do not trust another. I am in a strange country. I will talk to him. But not here. Outside, in the rear, is a garden by the ocean. by the beautiful East River Ocean. There I will talk to him.
Well, what have you got to lose, Lieutenant?
Commissioner, I will talk to him, to the Peter Chambre.
Okay, go talk to him.
From July 27th, 1954, Crime and Peter Chambers, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thanks for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now more of Dane Clark and Crime and Peter Chambers, Nursemaid, The Three Beautiful Women, from July 27th, 1954.
And so, outside in the garden, with a cool breeze coming over the East River Ocean, she puts her arms around you and kisses you. But from the way she kisses you, you know she's worried. Before you can ask her, she says it.
Oh, I am so worried, Peter. I am very much distressed.
You tell me, honey. You tell the great detective of all the United States.
My knife. It is missing.
Uh-oh. What's with the knife?
It is in my family, an heirloom. We have had it many years, but it is gone.
Since when?
I do not know. I showed it to the girls when we came here 2 days ago. Then I put it in my bureau drawer. Then I did not look again until the police came and told us about poor Byron. They told us he was, how you say it, stuck. Stooped?
No, stuck. Stuck.
Stuck. Then quickly I look. My knife, she's not there.
Well, did you tell the police?
I was afraid. I am in a strange country. They will think that
Look, they're going to find out sooner or later.
So, if they find, then I will speak. Perhaps they do not find, then I have no need to speak.
Look, Louise, you didn't kill him, I hope.
Oh, no, not I. Peter, you will protect me. You will protect poor little Louise. You will not be sorry. Louise will appreciate so like
now,
this.
Wait a minute. You're a little premature in the appreciation department. Easy.
True. You are correct.
You have any ideas on Byron Thorndike?
Oh, he was a bad man.
Well, that's an idea. Where'd you get that from?
No, from Miss Brooklyn, Jean Allen.
You mean she didn't like him?
Oh, she loved him.
So, that makes him a bad man?
Oh, it is so. I am the prettiest. I know I am going to win. I tell this to Joan. She agrees, but she does not agree.
No, slowly, honey, slowly. You're committing mayhem on your English.
She agrees, and she does not agree.
Well, how do you work that one out?
She agrees that I am the prettiest, but she does not agree that I will win. She tells me that she loves Byron and that Byron loves her, and it is all, how you say, in the bag, that she will win.
Oh, a fix, huh? Even in a beauty contest.
Fix? What is this fix?
Oh, you skip it, honey.
Huh? Okay, I skip. So that is how I know he is a bad man?
Now, look, this Joan Hallam, she's told the cops that she lives in Hollywood. Do you know anything about that?
Well, once when we are together in Los Angeles, she tells me of a little room she has in Brooklyn. She says never to tell anyone because it is so poor and small. She says she still keeps it because it is so inexpensive, even though she lives in Hollywood, just in case she has to come back east. She was having so much wine that night. I do not think she even remembers that she told me.
Did she give you the address?
Oui. 262 Hoyt Street.
Hoyt Street?
Hoyt Street.
Oh, you mean Hoyt Street?
That's what I said. Hoyt Street.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Ground floor back. Is in Brooklyn, no?
Is in Brooklyn, yes.
So now, Peter, I have told you all because I am so afraid. You must help me, and then when it is all over, believe me, Louise will not forget. Louise will remember.
Regretfully, you leave Louise, but you hope there will be a better moment when all her worries are dissipated. You accompany Parker to the Belmore Hospital, where you sit outside in the white wall corridor while he interviews Matilda Craig. You sit for a long time until finally he comes out.
Well, I think we can eliminate her.
Matilda, why?
My boys have checked her thoroughly. She's known Thorndike a long time, sort of a secretary in his agency, and he's been very good to her. She's got a bad heart. He's paid for doctors' treatments past 10 years.
Well, at least she could straighten you out on his background.
She's no help there. He kept his personal life to himself.
What about those dames out at his house? She have any ideas as to who might have stuck that thing into her boss?
That's why I come out for you. She heard mention of a threat.
By whom?
Lola Granada.
Miss Madrid?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now, how did it happen?
Come on in and listen. Softly now. Miss Cragg.
Yes, Lieutenant.
Hi, sweetie.
Oh, Mr. Chambers.
Miss Cragg, tell us about that argument now, will you please? You feel strong enough?
Oh, yes, I do. It was 2 days ago. Miss Hallam was in Miss Granada's room. The door was open and I was dusting outside and I could hear. Miss Hallam was speaking. Miss Hallam was saying...
Look, Lola, I don't want to tread on anybody's toes. I'm telling you the truth, so help me. I don't care if you're jealous or you're not jealous. I'm telling you the truth. I'm supposed to win this contest hands down. Byron Thorndike told me he was stuck on me. Told me he was in love with me.
Then he was lying.
Maybe yes, maybe no.
Maybe yes, my dear Joan. Neither you or Louise will win. Only I. There is $50,000 to be paid, and he will keep it in the family. He will pay it to his wife.
Wife?
Yes, I am his wife. We are married in Los Angeles.
Why, I don't believe it.
No? Then look at this. A marriage certificate. Do you see, John?
Yeah, I see.
And I don't want you playing around with my man. Is that clear? Or he with you. And I have told him that. I have told him, if it continues, I will kill him. I am not accustomed to this, and I will not have it. And now that I have told you, please to get out of here. Please get out. Quickly!
Okay. Don't let that Latin temper of yours get the best of you. I've got a temper of my own, you know. Byron Thorndike. That dirty, miserable dog.
And that was what I heard. I didn't mention it. Not to anyone. I'm not one to gossip. But now, in these circumstances...
All right, Miss Cragg. All right. Now, easy, huh? Put your head back on the pillow. Nurse.
It's the middle of the night now. Parker's gone down to headquarters for a workout with his laboratory men, and you're dying to go to sleep, but you've got one more little chore to do. 26262 Hoyt Street turns out to be a ramshackle brownstone with ash cans on the sidewalk. Ground floor back is a flimsy door that has no resistance to your gentle ministrations. Inside, there's lots of accumulated dust. But there's also signs of a recent entry, like a newspaper with yesterday's date. You give the joint a quick going over, which isn't much of a job, and then out of an old, musty trunk, you come up with something which isn't musty at all. That does it for you, and you get out of there. Next afternoon, you're at the house on Sutton Place. Parker's got the ladies in Lola Granada's room, and he's jabbing left hooks. But you know Parker, he's holding back that haymaker. Possibly because he's got no haymaker to throw. But he's wearing them down, the three of them.
Now you, Miss Paris, Louise Dupre. That knife belongs to you, no question. That's a French knife made in France, one of them antique deals.
But, Commissioner...
It's Lieutenant.
Oh, certainement. But it does not mean I have used the knife to kill.
Only fingerprints on it are yours, lady.
Well, it belongs to her. Whose fingerprints should be on it?
Look, who invited you here?
You did, Lieutenant. We're sort of working hand in glove on this thing. Glove. Now, there's a pretty word. Whoever stuck that steel into him probably did use gloves. These ladies equipped with gloves?
Yeah, all of them.
So a gloved hand would keep the culprit's fingerprints off and keep Miss Dupre's fingerprints on.
Okay. Well, let's get to you, Miss Madrid. Lola Granada with a Latin temper. Brooklyn here's been keeping her trap closed, but you, Miss Granada, were heard to threaten Thorndike in her presence. Any comment, Miss Granada?
I did not kill him.
That you said too many times. Any other comment?
Only once again I wish to report the loss of my marriage certificate. It was stolen.
Marriage. We're working on a murder case.
It might be pertinent, Lieutenant.
Are you still here? Why don't... Pertinent how?
Because it was stolen. By the murderer.
Ah. And I suppose you know who that is, too.
Of course I do. Here, let me point a finger. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. And it comes out You.
Joan Hallam?
Me?
You, Miss Joan Hallam. You stole that marriage certificate.
I did not.
Oh, you deny it, huh?
I certainly do.
All right, I'll show you the missing marriage certificate. See, I'll dig it out of my pocket. Take a look.
What about it?
Guess where I found it?
Where? Where did you find it?
26262 Hoyt Street, ground floor back.
But how? How could you?
Honey, you were put on a spot.
What are you talking
You've
about?
been put on a spot by Thorndike himself.
July 27th, 1954. Crime and Peter Chambers here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. The conclusion follows these important words from your favorite station.
You ever make a change and then think, why didn't I do this years ago? Well, that's how people feel about switching to Medishare for their health care, especially now with inflation the way it is. People are very happy with the savings. Most families save about $500 a month when they switch. It's a huge help when prices are going up so fast in so many other areas. And Medishare's customer satisfaction rate is double that of health insurance. It's just a different experience, and people really like that. Medishare is an alternative to health insurance. It's a community of Christians who share each other's healthcare bills, and it's been going strong for over 25 years. It really is the gold standard, the most trusted name in healthcare sharing. Find out why people love it, find out why they rave about the customer service, and find out how good it feels to save some money right now. They're super easy to talk to. Here's the number, 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE, 833-34-BIBLE.
Thank you for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now the conclusion of Crime and Peter Chambers, starring Dane Clark, and the Nursemaid to Three Beautiful Women from July 27th, 1954.
The lieutenant's been holding on to you, sweetie.
He couldn't.
Thorndike scribbled your name.
He couldn't.
He scribbled your name when he saw you come in with a knife in your hand.
He couldn't. His back was turned. He was seated with his back to the... Oh.
And that, my dear Lieutenant, is what is known as cooking your own goose.
Nobody knew that he had his back to the door, Miss Hallam, except Miss Cragg, the police, and the murderer.
It's talking time, Miss Hallam.
Okay, I killed him. That's one rat that deserved it. I had a contract waiting for me in Hollywood, but he talked me into this. Told me it was a sure thing that I'd win this contest. Told me he loved me. Anything to get this thing rolling for him. Look at all the publicity it gave him. All the business, and for free. Because he figured to keep that 50 G's in his own family. That phony rat was going to fix it so his own wife, Lola, would win that contest.
When did you make up your mind to kill him, Miss Hallam?
When I caught him in the final lie.
And what was that?
I talked to him yesterday morning. I told him what Lola had told me, that they were married. Even then, he brazened it. Told me he wasn't married to Lola. When I threw him the bit about the marriage certificate, he told me that that was a phony. So I hooked it. I had a lawyer call L.A. and check it. It was the McCoy. Well, that was it. I sneaked Louise's knife from a drawer, and I waited for my chance.
And that was that. Parker cleans up the loose ends, and your case is closed. And that evening, Louise Dupre descends upon you. And with a cool breeze wafting over from the East River Ocean and a couple of highballs clinking ice, you have a declaration from the beautiful Miss Paris.
Ah, the true great detective of all the United States. In appreciation, Louise bestows a kiss like so.
Louise. And in appreciation of your appreciation, the true great detective of all the United States bestows a return kiss. Like so.
Even at home, Barry was never like this.
And there you've had Crime and Peter Chambers. Dane Clark starred as Peter Chambers. Crime and Peter Chambers, transcribed, was created and written by Henry Kane. Others in the cast were Bill Zuckert, heard as Lieutenant Parker, Marion Carr as Miss Cragg, and Anita Anton as Louise Dupree. It was directed by Fred Way. This is Fred Collins, inviting you to tune in next week, same time, same station, for Dane Clark in Crime and Peter Chambers.
From July 27th, 1954, Crime and Peter Chambers on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Coming up next, the conclusion of the open town matter of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. So if you've been following this week's yours truly, Johnny Dollar, you know that it's an ugly case from a small town that is not quite run on the level. Oh, an open town, which is why it's called the open town matter. We've heard the conclusion now of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. This one originally broadcast July 27th, 1956. And wait till you figure out who masterminded the murder or who's running the town.
From Hollywood, it's time now for...
Johnny Dollar.
It's me, Johnny.
Marty?
Yeah, how is he?
How about the same? Dr. Morton just gave him another transfusion.
Has he been able to say anything yet?
He hasn't even been conscious. Why, Marty?
Well, who's there with you?
Joe Crayley and the city attorney.
Look, Johnny, I've got to talk to you right away.
All right, go ahead and talk.
No, not on the phone.
All right, it's room 604, City Hospital. Come on over.
Not with them there. Why don't you come meet me?
Because Shorty Wells is the key to this whole case. If he's able to talk before he dies, I want to be here to listen.
Suppose I tell you I'm ready to talk, Johnny.
Are you telling me?
I'm in an all-night lunchroom right across the street from the hospital. Can you come over here?
All right, Marty, I'll gamble with you. Be there in 5 minutes.
Tonight, and every weekday night, Bob Bailey in the transcribed adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. From Special Investigator Johnny Dollar, location Greensport, Missouri, to the Home Office Great Plains Guarantee Company, Hartford, Connecticut. Assignment, the open town matter. Expense account, final page. I hung up the phone more puzzled than ever, and heaven knows the case had been puzzling from the start. Marty Blake, young widow of the murdered police chief, had been completely uncooperative and unwilling to talk. And now she was reversing her field. Why? Her house had burned to the ground earlier in the evening, and Shorty Wells, number 1 on the city attorney's wanted for murder list, had been found trapped in the flames. Maybe this had something to do with Marty's phone call. She'd been my number 1 suspect at first, since she stood to collect $50,000 as beneficiary of her husband's life insurance. But then the city attorney himself, Dave Sherman, had provided her with an airtight alibi, and I'd reluctantly let her off the hook. Now this. I didn't know what she was up to, and I couldn't afford not to find out.
Something up, Dolly?
Well, that was Marty Blake, Mr. Sherman. She's in a lunchroom across the street. She wants to see me.
Oh, what about?
She didn't say.
Well, go ahead and talk to her if you want to, Johnny. I'll call you if Shorty starts to regain consciousness.
All right, thanks, Joe.
I'm sticking right here myself. This one I'm going to follow personally.
Well, if you really want to break the rackets in this town, your answer is lying right there in that bed, Shorty Wells.
I think you're right, if he's ever able to talk.
And if your police laddies don't fall over their own feet again, the way they did on that gun business when Ed Blake was shot.
That mistake was partly justified, Joe. It was the chief's own gun that was lying beside his body. It was natural to assume that he'd exchanged shots with a prowler.
Yeah, but 2 days to realize he'd been shot with his own gun.
All right. They fouled up, I admit it.
And the ones who aren't stupid are crooked. Every raid you try to pull has been tipped off.
I know it.
Even when Mayor Lyons brought in state police, the whole plan was tipped.
Which you took great pleasure in pointing out in your news story.
All right,
and
you guys, look now. I'll leave you two to settle this. Stick on this guy like a leech. And if he shows any sign of coming to and talking, let me know right away, will you?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
I'll see you later.
Back here in the booth, Johnny.
Right. Well, what's on your mind, Marty?
Sit down, Johnny. Here, come on.
Well?
The waiter's in back if you'd like some coffee or something.
No, thanks. Okay, now what is it?
What is what?
You had to talk to me right away. How I talk?
Johnny, I'm not too hard to take, am I?
No, you're a pink and gold doll. Wild honeysuckle and a handful of stars. At least that's what a couple of guys said today.
I don't care what a couple of guys said. What do you say, Johnny?
I guess the description fits, as far as looks are concerned. And if that's all you want to talk about...
No, wait, Johnny. I'm in the clear on this. You know that. The night my husband was killed, I've got an alibi nobody could shake, right?
Well, I'm pretty well convinced you didn't pull the trigger, if that's what you mean.
And you could convince the insurance company, too, couldn't you? If you would.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they'd go pretty much on my report. But I don't see...
Why don't we get this settled and over with? Why don't you be nice, Johnny, and turn in a real good report?
Oh, so that's the pitch.
Well, it's not a pitch. I didn't do it, so why can't you tell them so?
Why don't we get some more answers first to a lot of questions? Explain a few odd angles, maybe.
Like what?
Like the fact that you heard the noise and woke up, that you sent your husband downstairs, that you turned on the light behind him and made him a perfect target for whoever held the gun.
Johnny,
Like the fact that you filed your insurance claim less than 24 hours after your husband was killed. Suppose we hear what Shorty Wells has to say before I make any report.
What if Shorty dies without talking?
Well, in that case, I guess you will be in the clear. Because right now, he's the only lead I've got. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Johnny, make that report. Make it now.
Sorry.
I'll give you $10,000 out of the insurance.
Oh, you are anxious, aren't you?
I just want to get it settled. Sit down, Johnny, and let's talk about it.
Yeah, Joe, what is it?
Fireman I know just came by the hospital, Johnny. They found out why Shorty fired those shots just before he ran out of the blazing house.
Why?
That cellar door was padlocked on the outside. He had to shoot the lock off to get out.
Then he probably didn't set the fire after all. Not if he was locked in the basement. What about that, Marty? Was he the one who was supposed to die in the fire?
If he was hiding out in my cellar, I didn't know anything about it.
Just another one of those odd angles, huh?
Oh, stop it.
Johnny, by the way, what do you want to see me about?
See about? What do you mean?
Well, yeah, the nurse said you phoned the hospital. Said you wanted me to meet you here. You mean you didn't?
Come on, Joe, let's get back there. Sure, that's why she wanted me to meet her there, to get me away from that room. Then somebody phoned and got you away.
Elevator's coming down now, Johnny.
Shorty's the one big threat to whoever's guilty. They know that if he talks, they're tagged. He can get up to his room
No,
before...
I thought...
Mr. Sherman, leaving?
Well, yes, somebody phoned. It's the mayor. He wants me to meet him across the street.
Anybody out there with Shorty Wells?
Well, the doctor will be back in a few moments.
Come on, Sherman, back into the...
Wait a minute! Look, I've got to meet Mayor
Start it up,
Lyons.
Joe, start it up.
6th floor, number 6.
May I ask what's going on here? I haven't got time to go back upstairs. I told
I'm afraid
you...
you'll have to take time, Mr. Sherman.
It was all right to leave, Dollar. Shorty wasn't showing any signs of coming to.
Did you make sure of that?
Did I... Look, Dollar, I don't get what you're driving.
All right, come on now, let's go.
Would somebody please let me in on this?
Let's take a look at Shorty first, Mr. Sherman.
Johnny, what happened to the cop who was on duty?
Well, he was here in the hall when I left just a moment ago.
Oh, he got to walk down to... Did you leave that door ajar, Mr. Sherman?
Why, no, of course not.
Come on, but quietly.
What the devil?
Are we interrupting something, Mayor Lyons?
What's he doing with that pillow? Nothing. I wasn't doing a thing.
You were holding it down over Shorty's face. Get out of the way. I think you were trying... Shorty's dead. You smothered him with that pillow.
No, he was dead when I came in. I was just moving the pillow, Dave.
Did you have to get us all out of this room and then send the police guard away just to move a pillow?
Mr. Dollar, are you suggesting...
Well,
that
I'm suggesting it for one. Dollar, I've been sure for months that Mayor Lyons was back of the rackets here, but I didn't have any way of proving it.
Until now, perhaps?
Until now, Mayor.
Very well, don't move, any of you.
Oh, now, wait a minute. That gun isn't really your answer, Mayor. There are 3 of us, you know. You can't get us all.
Stay back, Dollar.
Tell me something. Why did you have Ed Blake killed? Wasn't he one of your own boys?
I can tell you why, now. Ed Blake was going to pull out of the racket, Stoller, and spill the whole setup to me. That was the reason for that fishing trip.
Then it must have been Marty who tipped off Mayor Lyons.
Sure, it figures. She loved that racket money that Ed was bringing home, and Shorty Wells was in town with a grudge against Ed already. Well, it was real convenient for you, wasn't it, Mayor?
As a matter of fact, Dave, it was very convenient.
Then Shorty hid out in the cellar of Marty's house until she decided things would be less complicated if she locked the cellar door and burned the house down.
Marty was a weak link, you might say. Stay back, Dave.
Oh, you better give me the gun now, Mayor.
No, get back.
Do what he says, Mayor. You haven't a chance.
I'm warning you, Dollar, if you try
Yeah, I hear you. But I doubt if you can... Let go of it, Mayor. Drop that gun. Let go of it. No. Thanks. Now, if
Look
you...
out, he's getting away. Lock the doors. You'll never stop me for...
Look out, that window.
You tripped.
That's 6 floors down.
Yeah.
Well, he got out of being prosecuted.
As a matter of fact, there's nobody left to prosecute.
You want to bet? She was still sitting there in the lunchroom across the street from the hospital. And she'd heard what had happened. I knew it the second Dave and I walked in, from the half smile of triumph on her face, and from the way she greeted me.
Too bad, Johnny. You should have taken my offer because I don't need your help now. Your company's going to have to pay off. I'm really in the clear now.
You are, huh?
And poor Dave, with nobody left to prosecute.
He still has you, Marty. Accomplice to your husband's murder.
Johnny. Shorty died without talking. Mayor Lyons is dead. No witnesses, no case.
Sorry, Marty. There is a witness.
Oh? Who?
You.
What are you talking about? What's that paper?
Well, you intended it to be an insurance claim. But actually, it's more of a confession. Signed and witnessed.
What?
You were over-anxious, Marty. And you filled it out in complete detail. It says, we found my husband's body at the foot of the stairs.
That's right.
That he'd been shot and killed with his own gun.
Well, it's true, isn't it? That's what happened.
Yeah. But this claim was in the main office of the insurance company less than 24 hours after your husband was killed. The police didn't find out he'd been shot with his own gun until 2 days later. Real neat confession, huh, Marty? Expense account item 12, $310.45. Incidentals in Greensport and transportation back to Hartford. Expense account total, $516.20. End of account, end of report. Remarks? Marty Blake never was able to explain how she knew about that gun. She sure tried. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Now, here's our star to tell you about next week's story.
Before I do that, please let me say thanks to all of you who are so kind about writing and telling us how much you like Johnny Dollar. It's a very gratifying experience. It's encouragement to all of us who are involved in production of the program, and, well, we appreciate your letters more than you know. As always, I'll try to answer you promptly, but sometimes the mail does pile up. In any event, thanks. Thanks very much for writing. Next week, a yacht that wasn't there, and a man who wasn't there. They never were, but that's where I found them. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, is transcribed in Hollywood. It is written by Les Crutchfield and produced and directed by Jack Johnstone. Heard in this week's cast were Gene Tatum, Paul Dubov, Joseph Kern, Stacey Harris, and Russell Thorson. Musical supervision by Amerigo Marino. Be sure to join us on Monday night, same time and station, for another exciting story of Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Roy Rowan speaking.
July 27th, 1956, yours truly, Johnny Dollar, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Yeah, telling the truth sometimes can be to your detriment, and it sure was this time around. We'll have more yours truly, Johnny Dollar, coming up in a couple of days with the next series of the show. But in the meantime, we want to thank you for tuning in. Hope you will take a moment to thank this radio station and support their advertisers. It is their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every time you roll around here on your favorite station. We never forget it, and I hope you will remember as well. We also hope that you will come visit my webpage, so if you miss a day, you don't have to miss a show. ClassicRadio.stream. There you can stream our shows on demand. You can find a list of places where you can download our shows on demand. You can learn more about building a classic radio collection of your own. You can also contact me. You can find our social media links. And a neat thing that we've got now is that you can buy me a coffee. And it's really nice to have that option there. A number of you have done that. And what we're doing is we're going to take that money, set it aside, and if we get an opportunity to purchase some old transcriptions from some of these collector groups, I will most assuredly set your money aside for that, so that we actually have new shows that we can present to you from the golden age of radio. ClassicRadio.stream, the webpage, ClassicRadio.stream. Thank you for tuning in. Please tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.